All right, good afternoon. Welcome back. So, managed to catch, hopefully, a successful meta in progress. We'll see how it works out here. So, I did discover something interesting though. When I opened like the chests associated with the rifts, and I actually gained. Oh, we're not gonna get up there all that easy. I actually gained a majority of the green bar that I needed. So I suppose if you're doing weekly rifts, then filling the green bar is actually much faster than I realized it was. But I did want to advance the story by doing the meta, and there is an achievement associated with each way of doing it. So with that in mind, like the easier one later down the road for me is going to be to do it by collecting the essences. So I wanted to get the achievement side of completing it through the meta taken care of. So that's what we're working on right now, and that's going to advance our stories. So yes, all caught up. Welcome to Three Swords Gaming as we continue our Guild Wars 2 personal story playthrough. All right. I wasn't able to target Lear there, but it's okay. It worked out for us. We got the meta taken care of.
You feel better with that nonsense off my mind.
It is a relief to see you well, my friend.
Well then, what do you say we get back home?
All right, so where are we going now? So this meta is super weird in that what just happened there? In that the chests for the meta are not right there where the meta completed. They're way up here. But so is the next story step. So I guess we'll take care of both those things simultaneously. We'll grab our chests and advance to the next story step at the same time.
So this is it. The tower that your wizards keep talking about.
I haven't seen anything like it.
It looks perfectly normal.
Normal? That's almost a compliment. Coming from you.
It's... I can't quite place my fingers upon.
So you do have fingers.
Very funny.
All right, a little more dialogue there with. Oh, that's not something we can do. So as if this chest thing wasn't confusing enough, we get other chests that are not related to the meta in the same area. Yeah, so looting these chests is frustrating. Doesn't necessarily feel good because they're all over the place and you can't tell easily if they are up high or down low or where they're at. You can't tell which ones you've already gathered and which ones you haven't. So the whole thing is like pretty weird in terms of how they deliver the rewards for this meta. I don't know if they're going to change that at some point or not. I suppose there's a possibility that they will. Let's go ahead and jump into the story chapters and begin the next instance. That is desirable right now because these next couple of instances have the potential to be really long. What did we get? Good for us. All right, cool. Um, yeah, they have the potential to be long, and we want to get started on. So what just happened in the meta is that we successfully gained access to the tower by helping Lear here forge the necessary keys or the necessary key to gain entrance to the tower.
It's so much larger up close.
It has taken on many facades over time. The inside, however, has remained the same.
So what's the plan?
With the infused key in hand, we can enter the courtyard. Just takes a good lick of concentrated magic to calm it down.
Whatever we encounter inside, I should be able to disarm it in Iskarin's absence.
You do whatever you need to, Mabon. I'll guard you.
Without further ado,
Behind me, all of you.
Boy, we really cozied up to this Mersat fast, didn't we? I guess they don't have time in the story, right, to like make that into a thing where that relationship like develops in some way. Not something that they can afford. Core story could afford that kind of thing.
We need to clear out the courtyard immediately.
Wither!
One of the challenges with these upcoming instances, less so this one than the next one, if I recall which one's which correctly, is there's also just a ton, and I do mean like a ton, of lore stuff contained within the instance, much of which is like very interesting, but it's going to challenge us in terms of time.
even Skrit is growing tired. They never paused to smell the air.
Is that what Skrit do? Smell the air? I guess so. Why did everyone else stop?
You'll be doing that.
Y'all gonna help me here? Please continue to fight. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
How did they get inside?
A good question, and one that I don't know we get an answer to, Zoja. But a good question.
Old friend. Is that? Who is that?
Alright, so this is the other half of Lear, right? Remember, he's like split in half?
Me, Commander. We need to. Whoa there! Don't take a swing at me, you half-witted headache.
Strength of the pack! I'll break you down! Wither!
Alright, all things considered, Lear here is a pretty simple fight. I think because they gave us so many, like, NPC allies, that it just feels like he's kind of a big HP sponge. You know, almost like you're doing the golem. Now, I think maybe the intent there is to encourage people like me who don't necessarily worry that much about, you know, whether or not they're running a meta build and about learning like a specific rotation, and encourage them to maybe look more into that as a more efficient means of finishing fights like this, because it's gonna be a lot of time of just like doing what we're doing right now.
Skrit is here to remind Lears to behave.
You sick? They'll have to hit much harder. Feel the fury. Set him up for the kill. You sick? Rip him up. Strength of the pack.
Commander, channel the heart's power to pull the crypt's corruption from inside him. Hey, the other one. Quickly! Destroy the demonic parasite before it returns and heals him.
No, I wasn't paying. I was looking at the little orbs. I let the guy get there and heal him. So now I've protracted an already long fight. Probably should have been paying better attention there. That's alright.
You down.
You will survive.
They'll have to hit much harder. You sick? Feel the fury. Strength of the pack.
Alright. Let's pay attention this time.
I'll break you down. Wither.
We're calm. How many astral planes did you count? 48. What? That's two more that...
We've no time for banter, Lear. The fight is hardly done. If I can channel the tower, we can quell its storm.
Now, I think that dialogue there between Lear and Lear was actually important.
Aye. Should be. Good. Because you spent enough time taking swings at us instead of the Cryptus, you lout.
Feel the fury. Focus.
Keep them away from me, or I'll lose my ground.
Man, why is Lear so hard on himself? It's like a weird thing, right? So yeah, how many astral planes did you count? 48. That's two more than, and then Mabon cuts him off, which is really weird for Mabon to do, considering that he's like the second most skilled or most experienced or whatever wizard, as far as we know. So why would he cut him off on dialogue that appears to be, I think, relevant? Because I think what Lear was probably going to say is that that's two more than like we're aware of, or two more than the wizards created, or for the fractals, or something like that. In other words, the Cryptus have managed to actually like generate additional planes of existence. But I could completely be wrong. They pack so much of that kind of thing into this expansion that it seems quite likely that some of it is not going to get like we're not going to see it come to fruition. Some of it's probably just going to end up being ignored when all's said and done. ArenaNet, unfortunately, they're pretty good about attention to detail on like a lot of little things, but then sometimes they'll just leave something that seems significant hanging and never address it again. And I wouldn't be surprised if... So neither thing would surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if that ended up being something that we get huge payoff on later and it ends up being important. It also wouldn't surprise me if it's something that they just never address again, and thus, I guess it's like completely unimportant.
Mabon, are you okay?
I just need to rest my spirit.
Let me take a look at you.
Oh, thank the stars. You live.
I'm okay, Dagda. I'm fine. So am I. Nobody asked you.
I need a leash for you both. I'm sure there were more intuitive ways to handle that situation. Shh. It's ready for us.
Finally. Let's head inside.
All right, here we're going to get ready for the doozy
Sweet flute.
of an instance, but really interesting instance as well.
We need to make sure the southern wings are clear before we unlock the whole of Confluence. Zoja, Urchik, and Gladium with me. We'll head east.
We'll head to the west. Frode, you know. Dagda.
Go with the group that needs you the most, Commander.
All right, so it looks like Lear is one Lear now. That's good. He put himself back together. So if you look at the mini-map, you'll see that we have like little green circles on either side. This is an interesting thing. This is the second time, as far as I know, or is this the first of two? There are at least two times in the story where you're given a choice like this, and there's an achievement for which one you choose. Oh, the other one being like the meta event or gather the essences, right? It kind of suggests that You need to play through the story with at least 2 characters to get all the achievements, right? Or alternatively, I guess you play through it a second time with 1 character. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can get the one with the meta or the essences playing through it again with the same character. I'm not sure. But like my solution would be to play through it twice with 2 different characters. Interesting that they made that like part of the cadence of the achievements for this expansion. Not that it's unparalleled. They've certainly, it used to be that you didn't even get expansions or didn't get achievements in the story until you played through it a second time. Fortunately, they realized that was not a great model. Ultimately, how the story plays out doesn't change regardless of which one you choose. So we'll come over here and join Mabon for this.
Stay close. Eyes up.
Urchik doesn't like to see the wizard's tower in such a state.
So clear signs of Cryptus influence, kind of all over the
Don't
place.
paralyze yourself with fear. We will expel them.
If there is a difference between the 2 options, I haven't seen it. So unlike the rest of my story playthrough, where I played through most of the things like numerous times and had a pretty solid grasp of it, this is only my second full playthrough on this story, and this is only the 3rd account where I'm at this point in the story. So certainly there are still some things that I may be missing.
I'll break you down. Feel the fury.
There's a lot of this is what I was talking about with like the lore stuff. It's just everywhere in this instance. Like when I say everywhere, I don't mean written into a variety of places. I mean like literally there are things to look at throughout the entirety of the playable area in the instance, which actually is going to accompany or is going to be like all this right here once we're done with this portion of the instance. Soaking it up, like doing it now in like a video format might actually be a lot to ask just because the amount of time it takes. Soaking it up in one playthrough might be a lot because you could easily find yourself in this instance for a really long time in an effort to soak all that up. Now from like if you really want to deep dive the lore, I think there would be some benefit to that because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there. So we probably will look at all of it, or not all of it, a lot of it, but probably not all of it.
I don't know how this happened. Did they make it inside before the defenses activated?
I don't know. My quarters are sealed to protect the relics inside. It's more for your safety than mine.
We better hurry, Spritlings.
Well, I think what we'll probably do is we'll just keep an eye on the time, and if we discover that we've just been
They'll have to hit my top.
like at it in one instance for a really long time, then we'll start to pay a little bit less attention to that kind of stuff.
Wither. Rip 'em up.
Root them out. We can't let them escape.
You'll be feeling that one for days.
Objects would be devastated. The Book of Medina could level Maguma.
Time to do some real damage.
I like that he makes reference to like other obscure things that we haven't necessarily had exposure to yet. So the Book of Medinas could level Maguma. Like, there are all these weird arcane things that we don't know anything about that exist within this space. And that's one of the most interesting things, in my opinion, that this expansion has given us. It's not just that... I got no dodges. Oh, no. It's not just the story itself is interesting, though the story itself is interesting, but also that we get hints of so many other things that had previously never existed within the world of Guild Wars 2. Places that we've never heard of before. At one point, there's a reference to, and I think it's somewhere in this instance, if I remember right, to a map that we know appears on our like world map, but is not currently accessible. And I'm kind of hoping that that's like a promise of things to come and that we end up accessing that map later. I don't think it'll be in Secrets of the Obscure, but possibly in like a future mini expansion or whatever the case may be.
Was that all of them?
I think so. I'm okay, Gladium. Tired from such exciting events. Let us return to the main chamber. Hopefully our allies were able to conquer the Western Wing.
So it's a really interesting thing to think about. There was a lot we didn't know about the dragons. There was a lot that was never explained about the dragons. There was a lot of room for mystery and lore and world building within that story. And sometimes it felt like they didn't do that much of it.
Just
The
one
east
more
is clear.
confirmation of how great I am.
As is the West.
Together, we recite the unlit moon.
Without Isgarin.
Zojja.
Me? I couldn't.
You must. Come. We won't let the flow overwhelm you.
I'm sure whatever terrors that still linger in these halls will come crawling the moment we begin. Stand ready, all of you.
Alright, so they're going to open this final door.
Water pools beneath our feet.
They're using some sort of ancient, arcane, cryptic chant spell to achieve that.
Just flawless execution of crypts.
Yeah, so like I was saying, sometimes I felt that like as much mystery as there was room for in this story, it didn't feel all that mysterious. Like they didn't necessarily deliver on that mystery. And I think we're getting some of that back now in this expansion, where it feels, you know, they're just suggesting things that we don't know anything about. And that's kind of good for like the mystery piece, right? You tell me about like a place that exists within this world and we haven't seen it, and now I want to know more about it. Whether or not we ever will know more about it, I don't know. There's only so much they can do in each release, right? But it makes the world seem bigger. I guess is the key. It makes the world seem bigger. It makes the past seem a lot longer. It makes everything seem more without actually showing that to us.
It burns.
With Isgarin's strength, we see you.
Alright, they're a little over halfway.
Cry with me, siblings of nature.
Cry for me and the world I left behind.
I kind of like the chant. You know, it's kind of fun that it sounds like creepy and weird and cryptic. I mean, isn't that the way it should sound? If these are like ancient wizards that have access to arcane magics, different from the magics we've seen thus far, and that's what we want it to be. If they make an effort to try and like tie dragon magic to some of these other magics that we're seeing here, that would actually be really disappointing to me. And I think it would be inconsistent with the way they painted the world early in the game's development, where there was a lot of suggestion of like other magics. Let's be okay with that. Like, let's have other magics instead of trying to like somehow create a science out of it. Don't create a science out of it. There was dragon magic, and there's also arcane magic, and there's also, you know, like the eternal alchemy and whatever. Like, there can be different things. Alright, we should have like one more wave, I think.
We'll need to take care of that thing.
Which one's the high cryptus? What defines a high cryptus?
Clear the air. Strength of the pack. You'll be doing that one for days. We heal as one.
I didn't move fast enough. Thought I could walk out of the kill zone instead of dodging out of it. And I was wrong.
Still standing. Barely.
Alright, should be just about there. Ah, little guys.
From the golden lake of Janthier.
To the 1,000 bowls of tears in the Hall of Burned Men.
Zocha! Are you okay?
You did so well, little one.
I saw... What was that?
It could have been 1,000 things. We tapped into Tyria itself. That burn was the world looking back.
That's a lot to process.
Here, let us enter the Hall of Confluence. There's much to... I don't know how much longer I can resist them. The whispers are... eager. My dear friends, don't fret. We have survived the Elder Dragons, rogue gods. This world doesn't comprehend how resilient it is. The Cryptis won't be our end. They are vulnerable, ignorant. I only ask one thing of you. When the hour arrives, do not hesitate.
That was a bit cryptic. Even for you.
Was it? Was it
I
cryptic?
suppose some Marsat habits lasted beyond my ascension. I can hear Iskaran. He's out there, somewhere, struggling. I need to go to him. We will meet soon.
Be safe, my friend.
We need to repair the astral translocator. We can't power our portal infrastructure without it. Our true home rests in the clouds above. Once our portals can access the flow again, we'll take you to the bastions. There are 6 bastion keys. The Astral Ward was able to hide some of them from the Cryptis, but they're not all accounted for. I need eyes everywhere until we've located them all. Check in with the others. The Hall of Confluence is a mess. We should tend to whatever needs doing before we depart.
All right, so we have a lot going on here in terms of tasks that we can, because our allies will give us other tasks. We talk to them, and we're gonna go ahead and talk to our allies. So this is actually gonna kind of end up being a mess in terms of all these things that are gonna be happening in this playable area. So now for the remainder of this instance, you see the playable area is quite large, comprises half of the Wizard's Tower. The other half is out here by Omnitas. And we'll get to that soon, but that basically functions like Harborstone does. It's kind of a hub, like Lion's Arch or something like that. But first, we have to recover these 6 symbols that go within these pillars, each represented by the bastion of whatever, right? Before we do that, let's get into a little bit of the story itself. So Mabon, after we gain access to this room, he talks about how the world's been through so much and it's survived. So clearly the world is resilient and everything's gonna be okay. He basically tries to reassure everyone here, and does it in this really kind of melodramatic fashion. And then he says, when the time comes, don't hesitate. Now, and then they're like, oh, that was pretty cryptic. But he's already said, immediately before that, he's like, I don't know how much longer I can resist them. Let's see, where is it? I don't know how much longer I can resist them. The whispers are eager. My dear friends, don't fret. We have survived the Elder Dragons, etc., etc. So it seems to indicate, and I think it probably does indicate, that there will come a time when we have to confront Mabon, or that he will be overpowered by these voices and not to hesitate, killing him or whatever. Like, didn't we also get that like one other time not that long ago in the story where a character was like, when the time comes, don't be afraid to like do what you have to do. Like I feel like that. I'm trying to remember what it was now. It's like right there on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember, but like I feel like we've seen that before. Could it though actually be a reference to like something completely different? Like we think it's about us confronting Mabon, but actually it's something that's going to take place later in one of the unreleased, or one of the releases for this expansion that we don't have yet. I would be interested to see if they do that. That would maybe be slightly more satisfying than just us confronting Mabon and having to like put him down. Oh yeah, it was kind of it's similar. It's real similar like the Chahern thing, right? Not that different from Chahern. I think there was one other time we had to do something like that too. Anyway, all right, let's talk to. We got a number of folks to talk to here. Let's start with our script friend over here. Hey, Richik, what's up, man?
Do you need any help, Urchik?
Oh, oh my. If the commander is offering, Urchik needs to collect all of the misplaced artifacts. Could you come with Skrit to find them?
Oh, is this like an escort thing? I haven't done this one before. Or we just do it while we're running around. Maybe we just do it while we're running around. Okay, well, we got a lot of... he's going to come with us? Okay, cool. Richard can come with us. What else we got? Do each of these 4 people have a task? I've only done one of these tasks before.
Hanging in there?
I guess.
There's something about being in this place that makes me uneasy.
The Cryptis have that effect, it seems.
Why didn't Iskarin help protect us from the dragons? He was watching this whole time.
When was the last time you helped save a local farm from a group of bandits? Would you save them if, say, the champion of a dragon slept nearby? Would you go kill that instead? Isgarin is a complicated fellow, and that's not to excuse his poor choices. He's far from perfect. When he has a goal, he stays focused. And he's had the same one for a while.
Keeping Epark away?
Aye. Something happened between the two of them back in the era of magic, before the gods came. He's been so focused on keeping the Cryptis out that he often neglected those inside. We're atoning for that mistake now. We've got Epark's lapdogs on Tyrion's stoop.
I'd save the farm.
And Isgarin would mourn the loss. You're similar in some ways, but very different in others.
I'm not even sure I love drawing the parallel between us and Isgarin. Like, as much as the commander has been like overpowered in the story and like is like the chosen one and all this, I mean, is that really where we're at now after killing all these dragons and a god and a lich and everything? Like, now we're just basically like a super powerful wizard, just like Isgarin. Like, I would prefer they not do that. But they drew the parallel here anyway. And of course, we are very different from Isgarin because Isgarin is like a big picture guy, and we're like a take care of, the little person at the time that they're in need sort of person, I guess. That's fine, I guess. Like, I don't have a problem with them painting Isgarin that way. It's more drawing the parallel. It's kind of weird. But I do like that we get some answer for why Isgarin did not participate in the dragon, in the fight against the dragons, and we'll actually get more of that. There is quite a bit more to learn a little bit later in the story. We're cut off from a home till we can reconnect the tower. How go your efforts? Well, I haven't started yet. Do we get help finding the keys? So, I mean, we can find the keys anyway. The locations are mentioned in a book. Sure. Cool. Now we have a book that's going to tell us where to find these keys. But there's also one more additional task, at least one more. Frode.
Still got Cryptis crawling out of every cupboard.
Gross.
They're drawn to whatever pot of magic they can find. We happen to be drowning in magical conduits.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked the wizards time and time again to keep our more powerful objects in a safer location. If you see any more, get rid of them.
All right. When he says, if you see any more, get rid of them, he's not talking about magical artifacts. He's talking about Cryptus. Right. Oh, that's Zoja. She's back in here. Forgot to talk to Zoja. Poor little Asura. All worked up and whatnot.
The crypt has completely destroyed my workstation. Ugh.
Oh, no.
If you see any books or pages while you're looking around, can you bring them back to me? Navigational charts mostly, but also some personal stuff. So no reading, okay?
Ooh. Now, there is also an achievement later after you complete the story to help Zoja recover more personal writings. So I guess Zoja is like a very... a person who has a lot of personal things to say. Okay, so we got 3 different additional tasks along with the Bastion keys. And the reason I decided to go ahead and take on those tasks, one, I wanted to gather the dialogue from these different characters. But also, because I want to look at so much of the stuff that's here in the instance anyway, we're probably going to take care of all this in the process. All right, journal. Okay, Zoja, let's back up. Okay, so this looks like a little bit of background. This is while Ritlock was in Amnoon. Yuno and Zoja passed through the Citadel. Yuno had a friend there. Oh, this is the first time that Zoja was exposed to Mabon, I assume? It was a Mersat? Yeah, so this must be an account of when Zoja was initially introduced to the Wizards Court. Alright. Someone needs to be swift, lest Asgaren catch on to their plans. So somebody's kind of sneaking around behind Asgaren's back, coming up with a thing. This person cares deeply for Dagda. I love you, my sister. Closest thing to a soulmate. And it's just signed S. Not S. Not S. Lear does not start with S. Rinchik does not start with S. Gladium does not start with S. Mabon does not start with S. What was the name of the Kodan who disappeared? I think that must be kind of a description of what happened immediately before that Kodan disappearing. And actually, I don't know if we've got to any of that in the story yet. There was a Kodan who was also a member of the Wizards Court, and they disappeared like a year ago or something. This, I believe, is an account of Lear's experience right before he ascended. But also gives a little bit of an idea about how, like, secretive they are. They're secretive even with each other, which is kind of, let's start out by going this way. Which is kind of an interesting thing. Which makes them a little bit unlikable. Does it make them unlikable? I think it does. Right? Like, why would they... You know, if they're unified in this cause, why would they also be, like, secretive with each other? And yet, we find that they very often are.
Feel the fury.
Alright, we got a navigational chart over here. Presumably Zoja wants that. 1 out of 6 navigational charts. So this whole playable area is like a giant maze. It can actually be a bit frustrating. Fortunately, I think if we're pretty systematic about it, and we work on just like kind of chunking away specific regions, I think we're going to be okay. Alright, so let's take the second floor over here before we go to the first floor. We can just drop down to the first floor. Dagda's diary. What other insights can we gain on Dagda from this? Oh, not a fan of Asgaren sometimes. Oh, Sorrows, right? So that's the S. Ever since Sorrow's sudden departure, my patience with him has lessened, right? Because as we saw from that previous documentary, or the previous diary entry or journal or whatever it was, Sorrow and Dagda were obviously very, very close. A little bit of kind of self-conscious. Mabon chose to hide his wings to lessen the dire presence of a Mersat, and Isgaren has taken on a blue complexion, hoping that he may be mistaken for a djinn. That's really interesting and something I'm going to come back up to here in a little bit. This is like I think our first suggestion that Isgaren is not a djinn, because he does just appear to be a djinn. Waiting sorrow. I should be angry, but she was always a warm voice. And yes, so very touching. Yeah, I'm really interested in the Isgaren thing, though, right? Like, what is Isgaren? Okay, it took me a while to figure this out, because here's one of the things that we need for the Bastion. This is the, I think it's the Celestial one, because Dagda's a Celestial Wizard, right? And we have an Astral Globe, which also suggests, like, celestial things. And this is the key to grabbing this thing. But what I didn't make the connection on the first time I played through this is that this affects, like, this up here, and these four things need to appear the same as this illuminated symbol, which is admittedly, like, kind of hard to see on the globe, and thus this can be a little bit frustrating. But we need to recreate that shape up here, and then we will unlock access to the mysterious energy over here. So let's see what happens if we touch the first one. Alright, second one. And, third one. Fourth one. And there we go. Oh, so we just touch each one of them once. I feel like last time it went different for me. Maybe it's randomized. Last time I actually left one of them where they were. But now, triangle, and then off in the corner. Triangle, off in the corner. And now that we've simulated the shape, we can grab this thing. So this should be the Celestial one. Now we can carry bundles when mounted. I'm glad they, when they did the mount thing, they made it that way. Would have been pretty frustrating if they hadn't. For so many reasons. There are so many events where I'm glad I can carry a bundle while mounted. So we got one of our 6 Bastion keys. We've knocked out a little bit of the bar of the Cryptus, and we're at 1 of 6 on the navigational charts. There is not, by the way, any sort of reward or achievement for finding the correct pillar each time. If you forget what you're carrying and you go to the wrong pillar, it just tells you, I don't think this is the right pillar. Maybe try a different one. Like, I had kind of anticipated an achievement for that, but there 100% is not an achievement for that. So you don't even need to, like, put forth the effort to remember the right, the right symbol, or to know that you're doing the right thing. It gives you an opportunity to fix it if you mess it up. Oh, hey, buddy. What are you doing back here? I mean, we know what he's doing back here. Did no one come to help us with this fight? Where's... Oh, there we go. Richik's got like a little gun or something. Okay. There's a whole bunch of things here in... along with the navigational chart. This is like Lear's room. So we got all kinds of stuff. He's got a journal. Went on a trip back down to Tyria. Large monastery hewn inside a mountain, touted as the largest library and archive of Tyria. So that's the priory, right? And they met Ogden. Ogden apparently does not know Lear. Now we have a different voice here, or 2 voices. So, like, I guess this part of the journal was when Lear split, and then reassembled. Also mention of destroyers. Apparently they encountered destroyers after going to some ruins. Chasm of Stars. Found our prize. Sparks of Deldrimor floated above the cavern. Lake's opalescent waters carried out her business. So watch shimmering cosmic fish. Does it say quad stoned rune lock? So I think what this is reference to is I think they went, if you go, all right, giant map. The puzzle over here by Derelict Delve, the Derelict Delve puzzle. If you go into that puzzle, oh, it doesn't show even if we change layers in the map. If you go into the final, like the chamber, it's like the water chamber, then you will see everything that is described there. So they went to the water chamber there and recovered something from the water chamber. This is like a military operations org. There are several of these scattered about. Not really super relevant to the story. We can sit in Lear's chair if we want. Nothing exciting happens. Not associated with the chair achievement anyway. Unfortunately, it does not give us Lear's chair. Maybe they'll sell that later. Wouldn't surprise me if they sell it later in the gem store. Dwarven Machine. This should look familiar from season 3 when we were in what's it called? Amber Bay. Right. This is what kept volcanoes from erupting. Like somehow this machine's able to release the pressure in the island. So Lear's got one of these. He's also got a destroyer egg, which creeps us out, even though we know that Primordus is gone. Weapon crate, dwarven weapons. Oh, and a joke. That's quality craftsmanship. Raven Totem, again, this from Icebreath Saga, right? So, they reuse so many different things that we've seen throughout the game, but it makes it very fun and interesting because it makes sense within the context of the story, and and Lear's been collecting this, so it feels good. It doesn't feel bad. Lear, Norn tossing champion, 1320. Good job, Lear. Way to toss those Norns. So it's like an inversion on the midget tossing thing, right? Where huge Scandinavian men throw midgets. Instead, dwarves throw Norn, who strongly resemble big Swedes, right? Food tray. Loaf of seeded bread, triangle of very pungent cheese. Gross. All right. But what was not here? Another one of the symbol things, right?
I'll break you down.
Oh. For a minute there, I forgot I wasn't on my Reaper.
Wither.
Alright, I know we got another symbol right over here, but before we do that, let's check in here. Oh, what do we got? Misplaced artifact? Do we have any, Oh, we got some other stuff too. I don't know whose room this is. Is that the inside of the Jade Reactor? That looks like the inside of the Jade Reactor, doesn't it? That goes back to Lear's room. Alright, let's check. Oh, we got a journal and a scroll. This is very clearly Zoja. Can't even work on Mr. Sparkles. He's scattered in pieces all over Maguma. I think I am too. We'll ultimately put him back together. We'll find him later. Timey's come and gone. Managed to dodge her each time at least. But I guess she's somewhere down in the Ring of Fire. So this particular journal takes place around season 3. And what? Nothing. Why do we keep running into that where there's nothing on the second page? That's weird. What's this scroll about? Oh, another op order. Cool. More con ops. Really more of con op. Navigational chart. Although pretty weak con op. All right, how are we doing on these navigational charts? 3 of 6. Nice, nice. And an artifact. Oh, we gotta play the game. Did we get it? Misplaced artifacts recovered. 1 of 4. All right. I'm here for you, Richik. You and I are gonna work together on this. Gonna get these artifacts. All right, so we got another little symbol thingy. We also got some enemies over here. There's our mysterious energy that we're looking for. Alright, the problem is the tree's on fire, so we can't examine. Ah, no, it's on fire. We can't do anything. There's a bucket of water right over here we'll grab. And another enemy along the way. By the way, if you play the game just for big rewards and this kind of thing feels like it's a big waste of time for you, then I wouldn't do these achievements. Now, if you value achievement points, obviously you're going to do them. But if you're just hey, I just want to time efficient gold gathering things, then this is not something you'd want to participate in because there's at least for killing the Cryptus, there's not a meaningful reward for it, if I remember correctly. We got a lot of Jade themed stuff here: the desk, the chair, some of the symbology and stuff. That's cool. Water bucket. What else we got? Oh, another misplaced artifact chest. Nice. That'll give us 2 of 4. And some grapes. They're grapes. Anything in here before we grab that water bucket? Alright, let's go get that second symbol thing and take it back up. Now, thus far, we haven't used that little book that she gave us as a guide for where to find this stuff. But because we're so deliberately and systematically, like, making our way through the whole place in an effort to discover all the things, it hasn't really proven necessary. I've never even opened the book. I mean, I guess we could. We could take a look at it. Which one are we carrying right now? I think we're carrying nature, right? Because it was in, like, the burning tree. I think it's nature. Here. Bastion of the natural. Yep. Also, the symbol on the little, like, rune or whatever it is does match thematically what's on the banner. But you have to kind of be able to interpret it because it's not a perfect match. They didn't make it quite that easy. Like Skyrim easy, right? Alright. Actually, let's go through the ward this time. In fact, let's grab this one. Oh, and then we'll come back and talk to Livia. Yes, Livia is here. That'll be worth, from a lore perspective, that'll be worth checking out as well. But let's go ahead and grab this one while we're here. I didn't even check which one this one is, so I guess we'll try and do the symbol matching thing here in a minute. Oh, yeah, this is the symbol that gave me fits last time. So there's our symbol. And that one is quite hard to match to anything. But what we're meant to match it to is this right here. So this is the Bastion of Balance. Alright, let's go talk to Livia. Find out what the heck Livia is doing here. So I like Livia as a character. I just didn't like that they reintroduced her to the game 250 years after she was in the game. Like that, to me, I don't enjoy, like, the sheer number of undying characters, especially without explanation. Now, there is some explanation, however, for why Livia is the way she is, and we actually get more of that in this expansion. I don't think it's in the story. I think it's in the open world where you can find documentation that talks about Livia and the Scepter of War.
Livia, is that you?
Oh, you. They'll let just about anyone in here, won't they?
You're in the Astral Ward? What happened to the Shining Blade?
I'm an honorary member. Didn't quite take to Wayfinder myself when Iskarin bestowed it on me. I am always a blade. We worked together over the years, Mabon and I. He loves Divinity's reach, especially fond of the food. Before you ask, I have eyes. I know that Mabon is a Mersat. It was not an easy bond to make. We can chat more of that later.
I miss the Selma district. It's nice to see another friendly face up here.
I wish I wasn't. I don't like being off the ground too long, but things are especially sinister. The Bastions, as you'll soon learn, are struggling to keep the Cryptis at bay. Something is stirring in the clouds. I can feel it, gently brushing my skin. Dagda and Lear will be aiding us on the front. I wouldn't mind seeing your face in that crowd either.
Oh, do you have more to talk about? Okay, well, before we get to the second thing, so we see she has the same weapons. Sword, which I believe is that the precursor for Shining Blade? I think it is. And then the focus, which is like, what is that? Arcanus Obscurus or something like that? That she's carrying around, or one of the scroll focuses. Anyway, and her outfit, though, has changed, right? Which actually, very fetching on her, and suits her well. That's a gem store outfit, so if you're particularly keen on it, which I guess if we're particularly keen on it, we can buy it. I have all these gems. I got the Ultimate Edition, thinking that there would be a whole bunch of stuff that I would want to spend gems on when the expansion launched, and instead they gave us this, which, not a fan. So, yeah, I got all these gems. Don't know what to do with it. But that outfit, let's see if it's currently for sale. It would have been smart for them to make it for sale, because the folks who run into... That is a great skiff skin. The folks who run into Livia undoubtedly will be like, wow, that's a fantastic outfit. Because it's one of the better ones they made. I don't remember what it's called, though. And looks like it might not be for sale presently. Kind of surprising, if I'm being honest. I would search for it by name, except that I don't remember what it's called. It's like Hunter? Something Hunter? Oh, do I have these on this account? Those are fun. I don't think it's for sale right now. Wow, I'm really surprised. What is she wearing? Outfits. Ah, there's so many of them to sort through these days. Nope. It's one of my favorites. And I don't even like outfits, but that one is one of my favorites. Holy moly, I should have started at the top. Dislike this one greatly. No, it's not it. I like that one a bit too. Is it for sale? We're up in the ones that are for sale now. Or did I somehow miss it? Ugh, this is frustrating. Probably not worth spending more time on. That's a good one. Oh, it is for sale. There it is. Midnight Hunter. Yeah, really good. I like it a lot. Now we got it. There we go. Put those gems to use. We could even dress up like Livia, but we're not going to. Livia, you got more to say? Not bad scenery here. You'll get used to the draft, though I should have packed an extra shawl. You look like the shawl type, Livia. So, while I don't love that they reintroduced Livia to the game back in Season 4, or, I'm sorry, Season 3, she is an appropriate character to have here, since they already introduced her as someone who possesses extraordinary necromancer powers and has lived for 250 years with the aid of ancient arcane relics. Why not associate her with this group? And maybe that's how that conversation went in the arena headquarters. Like, hey, you know who would definitely should be a member of this? Livia. Or. You want to talk about Or, Livia? If you're asking whether or not I knew about Mabon, I did, but his existence did not change my path against Lazarus. In many ways, he was the last of those monsters. Mabon was not one of them. Okay, so her knowledge, this is interesting. I had never caught this dialogue before. Her knowledge of Mabon precedes her killing Lazarus, which means it precedes our knowledge of Livia, like our meeting her. Isgarin helped me retrieve the scepter from a group of bandits 100 years back. Now, wait a minute. Guild Wars 1 was 250 years ago? So she lived for 150 more years before she had the scepter, which has supposedly extended her life? Whatever, man. Whatever. Alright, so her and Mabon had a rough start and got to know each other better, or got along better. He's not like the others. He was just as afraid when Lazarus turned up alive. They knew of each other back when the little war between the Seers and Mersat started. They knew each other. Not my story to tell, but yes, the tale even predates myself by a few thousand years. Alright, so now we have the suggestion that she is in fact much more ancient than even we realized in Guild Wars 1. And if I remember correctly, there were some suggestions in Guild Wars 1 that she was in fact much older than she appeared even in Guild Wars 1. I wish we knew more of the Mersat. That's ominous, even for you. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Find solace in that. Lazarus is dead. The White Mantle are few and far between. If any more live, they have no interest in Tyria games. Alright, cool. Let's continue. We still have a lot to do here, so. As much as I enjoy... while I don't love that what they did with Livia, I do like Livia. So, fun to talk with her and whatnot. Oh, look at this. Got a Cryptus. So if we go a little bit to the west here, we should get right back to where we were when we were searching, like, all this space. And that's essentially what I'm trying to do right now, is, like, come back, make sure that we've covered everything. Yeah, see, we're on the other side of the grapevines.
I'll break you down. You sick?
Alright, we do have another one of the, we'll see what else what there is to find, but I believe we are also close to another one of the Bastion keys. I think it's under a stairwell somewhere. Maybe we'll end up using the book. Who knows? And of course, we're also looking for relics, and we're looking for navigational charts. So there's plenty of stuff. I thought it was under here, and it's not. We'll have to poke around some more. But there's also 2 more to find besides that one, so we got time. Except that we don't have time. We've already been at this for an hour now. Incredible the amount of time that this instance can potentially take if you allow it to. Oh, you know what? It might be under this stairwell. No. Oh my god. Alright. We'll figure it out. Navigational charts? Alright, let's go back up the middle, and then go around to the other side. Hopefully we're not missing stuff. What about up on the 2nd floor? Is there stuff to see over here? Oh, there might be. I didn't realize there were rooms over. Empty rooms. So that is kind of a shame. The number of empty rooms in this playable space. Considering the amount of detail they put into like other stuff, the empty rooms feel out of place. Like so that's kind of unfortunate, right? Because they put in a lot of work on the other stuff and it feels extraordinary. And then suddenly there's like a completely empty room and you're like, what's the point of this completely empty room that's like, that feels like horribly out of place and whatnot? Alright. Now we could have just gone like around like this and back through here instead of using this little portal to get to the other side, but I want to approach this other side the exact same way that we approached the first side, in the interest of consistency. It's like clearing a house and then conducting site exploitation. If you've ever done either of those things. Same. Do it the same. Alright, there's bound to be some stuff to look at in this giant room. Or some nav charts. We still got nav charts, fine. There's a journal down there on the floor. Alright, so there's another Zojja thing. She doesn't remind me of Rada Sum. So if you remember, when we talked to Yuno, she was very kind of anti-Rada Sum. And so it's interesting that appealed to Zojja because of her frustration and disillusionment. That Yuno not being Rada Sum-ish was an appeal to her. I'm not, wait a minute, what is it? It wasn't the same after Meguma, I'm not the same after Meguma. And I do like that character development in Zojja. I do think there are a couple points in the story when that's going to feel like maybe a tiny bit awkward or clumsy. But overall, I like that character development in Zojja. And I like the way it all ends up feeling. I think it's something to be sympathetic to. Certainly I can relate to the feeling of being in a place that you think you belong and then realizing that that's not the place for you anymore. That place has become hostile to you, or the people have become hostile to you for whatever reason. And now I won't say your survival depends on getting out of it, but your well-being, your mental and emotional well-being certainly depends on you removing yourself from that situation. All right, so we got another one of the symbols over here, mysterious energy, but we're missing a book. Fortunately, there's a book right down here with the perfect title, Everyone Loves Wizards. I guess that's, now we're carrying a book around. Everyone loves wizards, and everyone loves shiny things that you stick in holes. Alright, note that it goes between eternal verities and excellent spells for novices. In other words, alphabetical order. Nice touch. I wish they had like an actual card system. But they don't. so we'll just have to deal with it the way it is. Am I like ancient? Because I actually remember that when we had like the like filing card system for keeping track of where books went on shelves, and like there'd be like a matching card in the book, and then you gave the card to the librarian to check the book out, and she put it in like a little thingy. All right. Is this obscure? I don't remember which one we're holding. Nope, it's this one. Knowledge. Oh, of course, the book. That should have been super obvious to us. Yeah, wrong one. Or wait, was it? No, it was the right one. There we go. So we still got one Cryptus hanging out. We're still missing one artifact. We still need 2 charts. And we need 2 of the Bastion keys. Alright, more Zoja. Hitched ride to Queensdale. Stayed in the same lodge Logan and I did every time we went to Lion's Arch, right? So I assume that's the Hunter Lodge in like Divinity's Reach. Oh yeah, and this is where she meets Yuno. So it's interesting, like getting all these journals like kind of out of order. So that one precedes the other one, the other 2, where she's talking about like her positive experiences with Yuno. All right, this is an interesting room. Oh yeah, and it's got one of the energies too, or the Bastion keys. We've got a scroll, another Conop. Cool, cool. Oh. Brody snuck up on me, man. I wasn't expecting to see your journal. Is this Dagda? Not all of my memories have returned since the ritual, and they likely won't, but the pit in my gut screams at night. Probably angry I hid it all away. Ascaron says that he holds no grudge, but he's still guarded with me. Oh, I think this is Mabon, actually. His world spire isn't complete, so this goes way, way back, right? Ascaron may be strange, but he's not bad. My people are cruel. Yeah, this is Mabon. All I've left to myself, my past self, that doesn't make me want to crumble in the abyss is her voice. I don't know who she is, but it might be the only flicker of anything that proves I'm not inherently malevolent. They are out there in the realm of dreams, our home, our actual home. I see them sometimes when I slumber. Her voice sounds like ocean waves. Even her mask is just a golden sheen smeared at the back of my mind. That's really interesting, right? Because at no point in the story, like anywhere, do we get any hint or indication of like we see the Mersat in a certain way, and so the idea that Mabon, once loved somebody is like the furthest thing from our minds, right? Okay, so we're gonna grab this thing. Only those with the strongest wills are awarded the key to their destiny. Yep, let's take it. Strongest of wills highlighted, slight glow of energy. Something turns your stomach if you focus too long on them. Touch the glowing words. So now we begin the trial of strength. Endure the curse of Mersat spectral agony for 1 minute to prove your strength and dispel the energy guarding the Bastion key. Now, oddly, if you look, like it ticks so little off our health, we don't actually have to use Endure Agony. We can literally just stand here for the full minute. It's really weird that they balanced it that way. And I don't think we have any agony resistance. Yeah, we don't have any AR on this character. Oh, I think that's all the Ascended we have. We don't even have any Ascended weapons or anything. So I don't know, because the first time I encountered this, and I'm like, wow, that's hardly doing any damage at all. Maybe it's because I was on a character that had like 120 or 130 agony resistance. I thought, oh, maybe, it's because you have AR on your, if you have AR on your character, like it does less damage. But for whatever reason, you don't even need Endure Agony. You can literally just stand there. The timer's got a few seconds left, and then we're going to get our little energy. So maybe it was just like more flavor than it was any sort of challenge. Not sure. Really don't know what their goal was there. But we now have 5 out of the 6 Bastion keys, so we're actually almost done with this. We also only have 1 Cryptus left to kill. do still have 2 navigational charts, right? And 1 misplaced artifact. So just a few things to go running around for, but we also have a few more little lore things to look at as well, if I remember correctly. Oh, and actually, there was one other thing in Mabon's room that I wanted to look at as well. Or at least one other thing, for sure. I wonder what that's supposed to be. That's actually like the portal here in... Oh, is that new too? Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's cool. Some of the art here is really interesting. Because a lot of times, like, the art they'll put on the walls is actually like an adapted, like, loading screen that they've made like into a little thumbnail and just stuck on the wall. So I'm kind of intrigued by images that I don't recognize, because the question is, well, the art's been created, like, what was it created for? All right, we're in Zoja's room. Zoja, I know Maguma stirs too many memories, so I went and retrieved him for you. What was he called? Mr. Glitters, Mr. Sparkles. And it's Mr. Sparkles. Here he is. But she's never actually turned it on. And maybe she just doesn't need to anymore. Maybe that's not who she is anymore. So what else we got? We got a journal. Yes. So she didn't go to Ayers Memorial. Apparently Logan stopped by, but he didn't go to the memorial either. You know, so she didn't... he didn't get to see her because she told the medic that, you know, she didn't want to see visitors and stuff. So a little bit of background on, like, her recovery from the Maguma thing. I really, as we get more of the lore stuff here, I'm really warming up to, like, her character arc and the way they present it, as being a mental health recovery as well as a physical recovery. What about this journal? Routine check on Mabon Market. Oh, is the Mabon Market named after Mabon? Never tires of Tyrian cuisine. Weren't we told that somewhere else? Few non-astral ward. Oh, but these are some of the few non-astral. So, like, the people in the Mabon Market know about him? Some of the Sylvari know him? Really interesting. I had no idea about that. That's cool stuff. All right, so we got Mersat armor here. Decorative bust displays the helm and pauldrons of a suit of Mersat armor that looks strikingly familiar. I wonder if it had any special significance from Bond. I kind of assume this is Lazarus's armor, but I haven't actually done, like, a check to see if it appears the same as Lazarus does, or if it maybe is the mysterious person that he was referencing when he was talking about, like, the importance of you know, some sort of mystery Mersat that he cared about. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Another con op. So each of these is like scenario, missile-based attack on Omnitas, and then like what they should be doing, what the risk is. Comment from like Mabon or Asgarin or something. I mean, kind of fun in that it kind of resembles like something military-ish. That's not, you know, how we actually do con ops, but I mean, like it feels enough like it is. Like, it feels close enough with, like, the risk mitigation stuff and all that. All right, we got all the navigational charts. Zoja will be so pleased with us. I am pleased with us. Let's see, where are we? Still got a few more things to look at. And there's our last mysterious energy as well. But we want to find the remaining artifact first, and I think there are a few more things to look at. Where are we at? 115? Yeah, let's take time to look at a few more things. Mabon and Yuno weren't far away. Fortress in the sky, hovering above us the entire time. Wonder who this is. There are Largos. Yeah, there are Largos in this organization as well, which is interesting. The scientist part of my brain is on fire. So I think that's Zoja talking about the first time that she actually arrived here and saw the the Astral Ward and the Wizard's Court and everything for herself for the first time. And it was a real tangible thing, not just not just something that she'd been told about or whatever the case may be. All right, 6 of 6 on, or 4 of 4 on the artifacts, 6 of 6 on the navigational charts. Another con op. Don't care that much. It's not really relevant to the story right now. Where is that last remaining Cryptus? Are you around here, Cryptus? Are you downstairs along with the key? And I don't think there's anything else that we want to read that we haven't read yet either. Yeah, they're both right here. All right, before we take that thing.
Here already. Good work, Wayfinder.
I do what I can, Fred. You know, that kind of guy. Gal? Apparently I'm a gal. Alright, let's get this thing up there. I think we've seen about everything. Oh yeah, there's a riddle. Read the riddle. When you have me, you want to share me, but when you share me, you no longer have me. What am I? This one should be easy. Choya. No, it should be easy. It's a secret, right? Pick it up. I think we've seen everything that there is to see in this instance, which is kind of amazing because it's a lot of stuff. But we got it done. That's awesome. I did it, guys. I did it. I did it. Nobody cares? Oh,
Good work,
I have to turn the
Commander.
thing on with my
I
thing.
appreciate your efficiency.
See?
Yeah.
With the Astral Translocator back up and running, we're ready to move.
I don't know what awaits us among the bastions, but we must move forward, Maban or no.
With a Wayfinder on our side, it'll be a fun fight.
Who's the Wayfinder?
You.
Why is that funny, Lear?
You have proven loyal enough for now.
I'm
For now?
honored. You barely know me.
And you've still time to disappoint us.
Oh, that's the truth.
And,
Let us finish our preparations. We will retake the bastions and push for the spire.
Okay, so the actual process of retaking the bastions and pushing to the spire is a pretty good description of... Oh, look, we got Fireball. How exciting. Do we want to start on... Nah, those aren't relevant to the story. Alright, we'll keep it up. What are any of these relevant to the story? No, but we kind of want Updraft Generator. So let's finish that. Oh, hardly got any mastery points, too. We might have to... we should be able to get through the story. Alright, yeah, it's a pretty good description of the meta, is what that is. All right, so let's wrap up our video right here, and then we'll start on the next one. We're going to continue stream, but let's insert a video break here because we're at an hour 19. There was a lot of stuff in that one instance. So what have we accomplished? Well, we gained access to the tower, and we secured the tower. And for the Wizard's Court, that was critical because they can't move forward and really begin, like, almost like what you would describe as a counteroffensive against Cryptus until they regained their stronghold. And now we've done that. So as we go forward and continue with our story, we're going to see what the restored tower looks like. So they dedicated... This is actually interesting. At first, I was really put off by this, and then I really warmed up to it. You see this, the tower is this entirety, but they split it between the instance and the kind of the hub, so that we see the tower in two stages. We see the tower as we reclaim it, and they dedicate the southern portion of that, and we see the tower as it is when it's fully operational, and that's where the hub is. And it actually ends up, like, when we see it fully operational, it ends up being a really cool place. They finally realized the potential of creating a hub and all the things that it could be, and I think that's really cool. I mean, maybe there's even more they can do, but like by my standards, they finally reached that potential after Sun's Refuge and Arborstone and everything else. Like, they nailed it this time, and that feels good. So when we pick it up here in a few minutes or in the next YouTube video, we are going to dive into that and continue to move forward in the story and start taking the fight to the Cryptus. So thank you very much.